Well, it wasn't the start that Piedmont was hoping for as they fall to their rivals Deer Creek by a score of 52-13 to open up the 2012 season. Hi, I'm Ben Felder, News Director of the Piedmont Citizen. Joining me as always is the Citizen Sports Editor Ben Schuff. And Ben, a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation going into this game, but Deer Creek was just better in almost every way possible tonight, and it was never in doubt. They were in control from the very beginning. What did you see in tonight's game?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, right off the bat, the very first series that Piedmont had, second and third plays, you had false starts. They didn't have great field position to begin with. That pushed them back to their 11-yard line. They had to punt. Gave Deer Creek great field position. They score right away. I think like 5 or 6 plays. Blumenthal did it both through the air and with his legs. He had a little run option that he took in for about 5 yards for that first touchdown. And like you said, I mean, from there on out, it was just all Deer Creek. Yeah,
and we knew this was going to be a tough test. Deer Creek is a class higher than Piedmont. They're just a little bit to a lot bigger, stronger, faster, better in almost every facet. So we knew that going in here. But I don't know, did you anticipate this kind of blowout of a game? And what does Piedmont need to do to get this bad taste out of their mouth going into week 2 against Hera?
You know, I can't say I anticipated it. You know, Joe Blumenthal, the Deer Creek quarterback, is obviously very talented, and as he showed tonight, he's got a lot of different weapons at his disposal. But in terms of Piedmont moving forward, you know, I guess one thing Coach Craig Church said before this game was, you know, this game doesn't count towards their record in terms of going to playoffs, and just forget about it and move forward.
Yeah, in terms of that playoff goal, it doesn't it doesn't make that unattainable. Yeah. Maybe just a pride issue here. You know, let's start on the offense and talk about that for a bit. You know, a lot of curiosity going in to see how Burris would play at quarterback. He really didn't give the time to really even show what he's capable, at least not in the first half there. Had pressure in his face almost the whole night.
I mean, you said it right there. The offensive line pretty much, I would say, did a poor job of keeping him off his back. There were a couple plays where Burris in the first half was starting to get up. Sometimes they roll him out by design, I should say. That worked a few times, but I think the first half alone, he was only, I think, 4 of 15, like 30 yards, and I don't want to say the killer because at that point it was already 35-0, but he had the one drive that Piedmont had going pretty well for him in the first half. They took it about 70 yards down the field, and then Burris throws the interception. Jared Rayburn makes the interception and takes it 98 yards the other way for a score. Yeah, and that really kind of killed any momentum that they were building in there. You know, and Deer Creek's still celebrating the win as we're kind of here in the noisy confines of the field here after the game. You know, Burris did look good on a couple of plays in the second half. He had a 49-yard touchdown pass to Christian Foster. You know, that's a connection that we expect to see a lot if Piedmont is going to do well this year. He also had another touchdown. Was it a run or a pass after that one? I think it was a pass.
It was a pass, so 2 touchdown passes, we believe, without looking at the stats right in front of us for Burris. So when he had time to throw, you know, obviously a little bit less pressure in the second half when the game was out of reach, but when he had time to throw, he was able to make some passes. And then Foster looked like he's in good form.
Healthy. I mean, if there's any concerns, I mean, he looked great in that scrimmage a week ago against Guthrie in terms of his health. You know, tonight the main problem was giving Burris the time to get the ball to Foster.
Yeah.
But Foster looked fine health-wise, I thought.
Yeah. On the defensive side, challenges there for Piedmont as well. I mean, they just couldn't stop Deer Creek, and you know, Deer Creek is maybe an early season favorite to win Class 5A, so they're going up against a pretty good offense and a really good quarterback. But I mean, what was this defense's biggest problem today?
Yeah, that's the one thing. I mean, if there's any sort of silver lining in this, it's that team that Piedmont just lost to is a pretty dang good football team. Blumenthal is a heck of a quarterback. He showed tonight his ability to both beat Piedmont's defense with his arm and with his legs. You know, that 4th down play I talked about, that sticks out in my mind as one play where it looked like there was at least 2 different Piedmont defenders that looked like they had a chance to tackle him around the line of scrimmage, and he scrambles away and he picks up the first down with his legs. So, but in terms of the defense, you know, you mentioned Deer Creek just being a little faster. That sure seemed to be the case in some of the instances. You'd have a couple players for Deer Creek. They'd get the ball on the outside, and it was like they just were
gone. Yeah, you know, and this one thing for Piedmont was they don't really have the depth to make the kind of adjustments. I mean, if it's not working with a couple of guys, they don't have the depth on this team to really make the kind of rotations to just give something else a try, and that kind of hurt them. While Deer Creek looked to be a pretty deep team. Even in the second half, they were going to second string and third string players, and were still able to move the ball pretty well. But like you said, this Deer Creek loss, while it stings, while it hurts, while it sucks for the players right now, in terms of their district record, they're still spotless there. The playoff goal is still attainable. Very long season. We're just in game 1. What does Piedmont have to do this week in terms of refocusing, getting ready for Hera?
I think the biggest thing offensively, Coach Church mentioned after the game, they just couldn't get anything going on offense, and probably the biggest reason for that was protecting the lack of protection from Burris. No matter who you're going to play, if you can't protect the quarterback, you're going to be in trouble. So I think that's got to be the biggest thing offensively going forward, is doing what they got to do, making the adjustments needed to protect Burris next week against Hera.
And they have a little bit of nuggets I think they can take away from film. I mean, just a few out there, but I think they can show that, listen, hey, when we get good protection for our quarterback, I mean, we have an offense that maybe can get some things done. But even then, I don't think Piedmont is an offense that's going to win a shootout, plus 50 points. I mean, they need the defense to respond, and they're going to need to keep that score lower to have a chance. Well, Deer Creek, our Piedmont faces Hera in week number 2. That's going to be a home game next Friday. Continue to log on with PiedmontDaily.com throughout this week as we continue to break down the Deer Creek game and get you ready for Hera. The Weekly Audible podcast, normally posted on Monday, because of the holiday, will be posted on Tuesday, so we encourage you to log on for that. For the Piedmont Citizen, I'm Ben Felder with Ben Schuff. We'll see you again next week.